Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be reviewing more Sharpie Creative Markers, but this time the warm tone set. Now this has been available in America for a long time, but it was so ridiculous on Amazon. The price was like triple the price of what it was in the States, so your girl waited till it was a decent price. I got the bullet tip set. There are 3 tips available now, but my set's a little crooked here, as you guys can see, because the side busted open on the way to me, but not so much that the markers fell out. You guys can still see the beautiful little rainbow-ness that they did going on over here. I'm of course going to put it in my personal color order, but that's why my little cardboard here is crooked. It was open on the side. Now if you guys want to see the information, please feel free to pause. The reason these markers are so popular is because they brag about no prepping and no shaking and no priming needed. And I've talked about all the other features before in other videos. You guys can pause it. They're available in 3 different nibs now, and I have the bullet tip. So once I got all the markers out, I saw that there was some little artsies in the back, and it was nice and cheerful, and it was a nice little surprise, and I personally liked it. It was a nice touch. It was nice and busy, and me likies. So this is the order I got it in from the company. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a slight rearrangement over here, but this is their little rainbow order that they gave it to us. Now, like I mentioned before, I have already reviewed Sharpie Creative Markers. What you guys are seeing here is the original set. I will link it up at the top and down below. And let's flick through my sketchbook a little bit here. I have also done the earth tones. I've already reviewed it. I will link everything. So there are decent colors in all the sets, and I already have some thoughts here, but I want to put them into practice before I officially say anything. So here we are. This is the bullet tip. They have brush, bullet, and fine tip. I'm only interested in brush or bullet, so I can't wait to get started. This is the little rainbow order that I was comfortable with. There's no right or wrong. It is personal preference. Okay, so straight out the gate, I'm telling you guys, those markers are really squeaky. I don't remember them being so squeaky last time. Here are all the colors, and I have mixed feelings, but overall, I do like the colors. Now remember, this is a warm tone set. So right here, I am seeing some warm tones, some neutrals, but I find the colors in this set are very interesting, to say the least. I have lots of thoughts. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of cool tone colors here specifically, because green is a cool tone, and then we've got a really dark green, and we do have warm tones. Some of the warms are kind of neutral though, but from here on down, yes, I do see a lot of warm tones, but they're warm tone neutral. So it's kind of confusing if you ask me, but the colors are nice. I'm happy with my little doodle page. I like the colors overall. I just find it a little bit confusing. I'm eager to use them and compare them to other markers in the other 2 sets. And when I say other markers, I mean other marker colors, because it seems to me there's some colors here that are similar to others in the set. So obviously I have this page reserved for another little project. So we're going to flip through, and this is actually my last double spread in this sketchbook. Now, as per usual, when I'm reviewing markers, I purposely have a harsher pencil sketch. I want to see how well the markers are going to cover it. And of course, the first layer is super streaky, disgusting, just like most acrylic paint markers. So I'm going to have to layer up like I usually say. So here are all the colors. I'm trying to utilize all the colors, lay them down, and this is a hot, streaky mess, really gross. But look, as I layer up, it's getting better. Now, as you guys can see in the sky, the blendability isn't the best, but it's not the worst either. And I mean, for the price that you get, the markers are pretty good. The colors are decent. They are a bit confusing because this set seems to be the streakiest of all 3 sets. Some colors are streaky, some aren't. I really love that purple color, but there was definitely streakiness in it, and I couldn't quite figure out why. I'll show you guys the marker tip after, but as for that color, I absolutely love that shade of purple, and I loved outlining it. It's just there's an inconsistency in the pigments. So here are all the little blobs, and as you guys can see, some of the colors are more streaky than others, just here at this close-up. And I don't know why that is. but this is me sharing my first thoughts, my opinions. This isn't sponsored. This is just artist opinions. So up here at the left, we have the original set, and then here is the warm tone set down here, and then up at the right-hand corner, we have the earth tones. So your girl took some notes, and she has a lot to say because I'm making a lot of observations, and I'm going to go through them with you because this might change your decision if you're thinking of trying and playing with these markers. Now, the original set came out a little over a year ago. Then the earth tones set came out a few months after that. And I'll explain all my little notes and the little stars after. I just find it interesting how in the earth tones there's 2 purples and 2 greens. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of pastel colors, lots of blues. And it's just peculiar to me because it's not really an earth tone set. I personally find it's more of a pastel set. And then the ones that I put the little stars here, there's colors that are super similar to the warm tone set, like really, really similar. So here we are down here. Now I have notes on this set because this is what this video is for. Anything I put an S next to, I found the colors abnormally streaky, watery. It was strange. This set to me personally has more earth tone sets than the actual earth tone set I showed you guys earlier. If you guys can see, I find they are kind of mislabeled in my humble opinion. The colors are nice. I just find it confusing. It's just very odd to me. The original set is definitely my favorite and the juiciest. So the set has just definitely confused me, to say the least. I decided to continue going forward, outlined my drawing, but I will get back to that later. I really, really wanted to take all the sets, combine them together. So there's 3 sets of 12 here, and I'm just going to kind of all amalgamate them together, and then I can compare the colors and take more notes because we're here to learn, you guys. So the colors are beautiful, don't get me wrong. I have lots to say. Feel free to pause or just listen on here. The colors, some of them streak, some of them dry faster than others, and some are more watery. Like look at this blue, this purple. There's definitely wateriness going on that you don't have with other colors. So I just find it strange because I find there's a lot of inconsistencies. I really like this dark pink, but it's kind of watery, and it's like nothing like the other 2 pinks. I find these 2 yellows are similar. These 2 blues are very, very similar, and you'd think while curating sets you wouldn't have colors like these 2 or the other 2 up at the top that are just so similar. But these are just my humble opinions. I don't know what goes into color choosing and all of that, but yeah, there's lots to be said here. There's great colors. There's some that have great coverage. I really do like these markers. I've played with them a lot. I just feel confused. The word for this video is confused. Now, I want people to consider the price point. They're fairly affordable when Amazon's not charging triple. You can get sets for about $20. They are fun and easy to use. You don't have them plopping and splotching like Posca markers do. So that's really fun. There's no pumping. They're easy and accessible, easy for beginners. But there are a lot of colors that are streaky and some of them watery. So is it really good to have something that's affordable but streaky? I don't know. They're quite accessible. They're easy to get. And I don't know. I wanted to use all the colors that I could. So I decided to whip out an old character that I designed in high school. And my goal is to use all 36 colors here to really have an even better comparison. So if you want to name my giraffe, every time I redraw this silly giraffe, I name it something different. So pop it in the comments. So here we are with my finished little deer. And I wanted to talk specifically about this illustration. There was like some uneven coverage in the fur. And then every time I went back, whether I shook the marker, no matter what I did, the color never went down flat. And I tried over and over, and I figured, you know what, guys, I'm going to be honest and just leave it. This is the reality of the marker. How good is it if I have to go over and over? Look at that blue, how streaky it was. So it's like they're budget friendly, but if you have to go over a spot like 5-6 times and you still have streakiness and you do it all in one go, is it worth it? I don't know. Look at the beiges. Look how nice and flat they are. I don't have that problem. So yeah, mixed feelings over here. So here's my funny little giraffe before I outline it. I did manage to use all the colors and it helped to cheer me up a little bit because I was a little bit disappointed. Every few years I redraw this character. This time I ended up doing a little tie over here, and you can see the pencil marks through some of the more transparent colors. This green is also transparent, the yellow is transparent, but for the most part my pencil marks are covered, especially with these darker colors. So again, it's a little bit hit or miss over here, but for the most part the pencil has been covered. There's nice pops of color, so I was really happy with that. Like most illustrations, once you put the outline, it really gives it character and the whole thing really pops. Like I said, I have named my giraffe different names throughout the year. I've made girls, I've made boys. I do it every few years, and it's just fun sometimes to make it colorful and quirky, to use all the colors. So I was happy how that turned out. So here's a year ago on black paper when I did the original set. I did 1 layer, 2 layers. Here's the warm tone set. I'll get back into that later. Flip through. Here's the earth tone set. I also did what 1 layer looked like and 2 layers, and you're going to see there are some streaky colors here too. The paler the colors, the more streaky they seem to be, but it was really kind of half-half when it came to this set. And as you guys can see, the illustration, if you did enough layers, there wasn't that bizarre streakiness that I got when you guys saw my deer. So I don't really know what to expect going into this, doing it on dark paper. I'm apprehensive, but for the most part, the colors do look nice. They really do. So I'm just going to do a quick little illustration here, hoping to get it done quickly enough so that I can do it all in one sitting. And I'll show you guys my opinions on dark paper. So I did something a little bit different this time. I did a more simple illustration. I was limited on time, but I do have some good information for you guys. So what I did this time is I showed you guys about how many layers I ended up doing in order to achieve this, because I talked about doing an insane amount of layers. So right up here at the top, you guys can see 6 to 7 layers. That's kind of a lot, and that's for these ones over here, the large ones. The coverage is pretty good for black paper, I have to say. There's still a little bit see-through though, even after 6 or 7 layers. The next one was 4 for that kind of cream color, which is to be expected. And it shows up well on black paper. I can't complain, but it's a lot of layers and you have to wait in between layers for it to dry. This ochre color was a little bit more transparent than I realized. And then the other ones are only 2 to 3 layers. And I have to say, when it comes to paint markers, that's very acceptable. That's expected. So I don't know, I find it ended up working better on black paper than white paper, but this black paper is obviously completely different than my white paper. Again, there was some discrepancy a little bit in the purple, and I don't really know what to tell you guys. I have a little bit of an idea, but I am happy with how everything turned out. So I used every single color. I showed you guys where they were. The deer ended up being streaky, and I don't know why, because I've used the Sharpie Creative Markers in the sketchbook before and I loved it. It's just certain colors were so streaky this time. I do not understand. So I hope these notes have been helpful. If you've bought them before, let me know what your experience was. Maybe I should try them on watercolor paper. I really don't know, but I definitely had some watery colors. I like my illustration. It's cute. It made me happy. They're very fun and easy to use. But I was definitely disappointed with how my deer turned out, and I wanted to be honest with you guys. Now remember, these markers don't need any pumping or priming. However, I ran into this problem with this set quite a bit. There was like pigment pooling. I've made up that term, but that's really what happened here, is there's pigment pooling. So it's not really the end of the world, but you get inconsistency in your coverage, and that's why there's streakiness. So it could make a very cool effect, but if you're looking for something to be more uniform, this is basically the enemy. I'll show you guys what I mean. So when you go to color, if there's pigment pooling, you get inconsistency and you see the pooling. Now, like I said, it could make for a cool effect, but if you're coloring in a large spot, this can really be inconsistent and irritating. So out of all 3 marker sets, I highly recommend the original set. I wasn't crazy about the set, but I really do like the colors, but I don't know if this is quality control, but the first set from over a year ago was far superior to these. I don't know, have you tried them? Are you planning to try them? Have I deterred you from trying them? Come leave me some feedback. Come watch some more acrylic paint marker videos in my description, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.